10 Diamond.
For you guys with the clipboards, there's a list of symptoms down the side of the page, so you can circle your symptoms as you get them.
King Spade.
How you doing, Dan? You starting to feel anything?
Okay, I think.
2 Diamond.
Is it that hard?
10 Club.
In the box first, Regina.
Club.
Now remember, the goal is to get 4 or 5 recognizable symptoms and then put yourself back on oxygen.
How you doing, Brian?
And you do that by putting all 3 switches up, then put the mask to the face.
Any symptoms yet, Dan?
6 Spade.
What's that, sorry?
Do you have any symptoms yet?
Yeah, some tingling in my hands.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, how you feeling?
Brian, how's that shape box going for you?
5 Club.
Dan, you think you need oxygen yet? Would you normally put oxygen on?
Brian, could you
I think
fly?
so, yeah, I probably would.
Okay, you go ahead and do that then.
Starts feeling kinda.
Brian, could you fly?
All 3 switches up first.
You ready to go? How you doing, Brian? Good?
Brian, could you fly an airplane right now?
J Club.
I think it's time for oxygen, Brian. What do you think? Brian, put yourself on oxygen.
Switches first, Brian, switches. There you go.
How about you, Matt? Could you fly an airplane right now? And what would you do?
Diamond.
What should you do?
If you don't think you can fly, that's the time to correct.
Do we keep going or no?
Oh, you can stop. Matt, what about your switches?
All 3
Your
switches
switches,
up,
Matt.
Matt, get your switches. That was moving a little bit slow there.
4 Spade.
Regina, how you doing?
77.
Regina, how you doing? Can't hear you.
Push the button.
That can be tricky too. I'm gonna put myself on oxygen.
Are you? That's a good idea. Put your switches up. Your switches. All 3. All 3.
Matt, you were down at 58% there for a second. You're starting to come up now. You feeling better? All right.
You were giggling as well.
Yeah, you had some pretty good euphoria going on.
Brian, you too.
You can take your clipper off your clipboard.
I couldn't do it either way.
And Regina, you went back on at about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. For the guys with the clipboards, go ahead and take your sheet off the clipboard. You can keep that as a souvenir. And then on my left-hand side, who would like to volunteer for the shape box? We got Steve up here. He was quickest with the arm. Who wants to do the card game? All right, we got Brian down there. Brian, you get the idea of the card game? Do you understand the directions?
Yeah, well, I think
right.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, we'll call you on it if you mess it up, because we're the FAA at card games here, so. It might work better if you just put those cards down on the console.
Matt, you can bring your red switch down to neutral if you want.
All right, so the rest of you guys go ahead and grab a clipboard. And Steve, you need some instruction on that shape box there?
Not yet, I don't think, but it's going to be a real short game, I have a feeling.
All right. All right, so if you guys are all set, go ahead and drop your mask from the right-hand side. And for the people on my right side, go ahead and watch for those objective signs of hypoxia, like we were talking about in the classroom. The loss of judgment, mental confusion, rapid breathing rate, all those things.
2 hearts.
That's operated on a cam, Eric.
Nine Club. I think mine, my indicator's turned off there. I don't have a reading.
Just push the power button momentarily, I'll pop right back up.
Club.
Yeah, they time out after a while.
Thank you. 6 Club.
Put it in the box first.
2 club. Three hard.
Puzzles are hard, aren't
10
they?
hard.
Got a little euphoria there, Joe? You got a big smile on your face like you're really enjoying yourself.
5 diamond.
What are you doing, Mike?
3 club.
Been out for a little over a minute right now. Steve, you're at 71. You feeling anything yet?
4 spade.
I didn't hear you.
No tingling, he says.
Little tingling, little fuzziness mentally.
Okay.
Queen, spade.
How about you, Mike? How are you feeling?
5
Need
spade.
a push-up. Mike button to talk. Mike?
I'll feel a little bit.
All right.
Jack spade.
Zach, you look pretty focused down there. How you doing?
Pretty good, but I can feel my breathing's getting a little deeper.
Steve, could you fly an airplane right now?
10,
You would not, so what should you do? What would you do then?
7 hard.
All 3 switches.
Switches.
Steve.
You switches? Good job.
Okay, about 2
6
minutes.
spade.
Zach, how you feeling?
Still pretty deep breathing, but I think I'm alright.
Think you could fly an airplane right now or not?
10. Getting pretty slow, but getting close to grabbing the O2.
What about you, Joe? Could you fly an
Look at
airplane?
your number there. What do you think?
So what should you do?
Yeah, getting pretty fuzzy. I might patch it on. 4 club.
Go hit your action of it.
4 diamond. Club diamond. Queen diamond.
Thank you.
Mike, could you fly an airplane? Okay,
Yeah,
what
they
should you
got
do?
King club. Diamond.
Okay, what would you do then?
Your process is breaking down.
All 3 switches. All 3.
All right, about 3 minutes. Make sure you control that rate and depth of breathing.
Excuse me.
That's
Can you
awful.
learn how to breathe on the mask?
How's that, Zach? I only felt it when the O2 came back on, but that, I feel awful.
You didn't look good.
Watch your rate and depth of breathing.
Worse, I mean.
Did you get the tunnel vision?
You can take your book off your clipboards and put the clipboards back.
You weren't looking left or right anymore. I was really focused on adding curtains and eggs. Hey Bob, can you check Mike's scepter? I think it might be a little loose there. His numbers aren't coming up. Ah, never mind. He fixed himself.
All right, everybody feeling back to normal? You can go ahead and flip that red switch down to the normal setting. That includes you, Brian, or Zach. You don't need that 100% or that pressure anymore. But we're going to go ahead and start a descent now. Everybody feeling all right? No problems? All right. So we're descending down to 22,000 feet, at which point we're going to drop our mass one more time. And this time we're going to get mildly hypoxic for the visual acuity demonstration. So what happens, like I said in the classroom, when you have a lack of cerebral oxygenation, that results in the lack of retinal oxygenation. And as your retina loses oxygen, you tend to lose things like visual acuity, color sensitivity, and peripheral vision, which is what we're demonstrating on that little card up there on the wall. So once we drop our masks, I want you to kind of find that little white spot on that colored card up there, see how far you can read, and then you don't have to stare at the card the whole time. You can just kind of see what you can see, and then look around the chamber, and then we'll refer back to that card once we go back on oxygen. But again, it's one of those things where people don't realize their vision was getting as bad as it really was until you go back on oxygen. Then you realize, holy crap, I couldn't see hardly anything. But we're coming up on 22,000 feet right now, so if you would, go ahead and drop the mask from the right-hand side. And you can leave the regulator turned on and 100% for this demonstration. And we're also bringing the light level down right now. So what we're trying to simulate is kind of the mesopic vision phase, kind of somewhere between night vision and day vision. But this is usually a little bit more demonstrative as far as visual acuity and color sensitivity effectiveness goes. So that's why we kind of dim the lights to simulate flying at night. in a dimly lit cockpit. But again, if you feel your hypoxia symptoms coming on a little bit too strong, feel free to go back on oxygen and just look at the card when you do that. But see what you can read in that little white square up there on the wall across from you. Because again, we're going to be checking your visual acuity when you go back on oxygen. But also you might see the colors start to kind of blend together, like the reds and oranges might blend. The greens and blues might start to blend. Those Z's around the perimeter of the card are kind of measuring a little bit of your peripheral vision. So you might see some of those kind of disappear over a period of time. And again, once you go back on oxygen, you might see those Z's reappear, meaning your peripheral vision is coming back. But how's everybody doing with the ears and sinuses? No problems? All right, good.
Sorry, I don't know what a Z is. I'm from Canada. Yeah, I was gonna say, it means that.
Alrighty. So like I said, once you've established what you can see on that card earlier, feel free to look around the chamber, see if you can read people's names on their name tags across the aisle from you, see if you can read the numbers on the wall, see if the walk-around bottles in the corners are still vibrantly yellow, or if people's shirts have the same colors as you remember. And again, it's not uncommon to not really see a whole lot of visual change over the 4 minutes we're off oxygen. Usually the change is going to come within about 10 to 12 seconds of that oxygen hitting your brain, and all of a sudden your full vision pops back in. We'll be off oxygen a little bit more than a minute from now, but when we go back on oxygen, the process of going back on is pretty critical. So what I want you to do, once I tell you to, is focus your vision on that little white spot up there on that card, that little white square, and then you're just going to take your free hand and rotate your mask to your face. Don't worry about hooking it up, and don't let your eyes stray away from that white spot on the card, that white square, because these changes that are going to occur to your vision are going to occur very quickly, and if you avert your eyes even for a second, you're going to miss some of the demonstration. So what you can expect to see is your visual acuity will probably come back. You'll be able to read further down into that square. You'll probably see the colors pop back in a little bit more prominently, and like I said, you might see the Z's reappear on the perimeter of the card, whereas you didn't really notice it before. But it's absolutely crucial that you keep your eyes focused on that white square. And we'll do that here in about another 15 seconds or so. Alright, so at this point, go ahead and rotate the mask up to your face, keep your eyes focused on the white square, and then we'll come around and go ahead and hook the mask up for you. Just try to ignore the instructors as much as possible. Brian, go ahead and put your mask up. Keep your eyes focused on the white square.
He's having some time issues. Now, do we want emergency oxygen or normal?
Just normal's fine.
Check. You're above?
Been trying to figure it out the whole time.
Welcome back.
Can I take, I have like a cough drop in my pocket?
Yeah, once we're under 10,000 and we drop the mask completely, we'll go ahead and do that.
I just have a cough, it's not anything else.
Okay.
My thing here, I think it's thank you.
We're going to go ahead and bring the light level up, so go ahead and look at the floor real quick. So 3, 2, 1, lights. And we're starting our descent at this time. Yeah, we want to hook that mask up there.
Well, my mask is hooked up.
And at this point, we can go ahead and flip the white switch down to the normal oxygen setting.